Is this Flappy Bird? Floppy Nights? Okay. There we go. Watch now.
There we go. All right. Let's see, where have I invited Dana? Yes, she will come eventually.
Okay.
All right, let's get this up and running on stream and for you.
Indeed.
I am extremely excited about this. I took a look at it a couple weeks ago, and then I noticed that it just came out on Game Pass free for like everybody if you have a Game Pass subscription.
Oh.
And
I do not know what this is at all. So.
Even before it was free, like the PhD candidate who was in the lab just kind of hanging out and working while I was doing my work, saw this over my shoulder. He was like, "Can I buy that? Where do I go get it?" And so grad students even spend money on this one. This is good.
That's a, yeah. That is a good
That's my sales pitch for this is
for real.
All right, there we go. Now its volume is low and manageable on the stream, which is good.
When are you going to share it to me?
As soon as I get it sized for the stream.
How's your Final Fantasy V stuff going?
Oh my gosh, if we finish this up, we might have to look at FF5, because holy crap, the Pixel Remaster is so good. So good.
Oh,
The actual playthrough is going very well.
good.
I drew Knight for my job, so I'm like, yes, I'm big, I'm beefy, I'm stupid, this is the best.
Yeah.
No thought required in Knight. Either you have the stats to like attack until things die, or you don't.
Yeah. Like the himbo of classes. Alright, there we go.
Yeah. You also get the guard ability that makes you completely immune to physical attacks. And if you if you have one Knight guard and then all your other 3 Knights are critical HP very low, you're immune to physical attacks at that point, because the guarding Knight will cover for everybody else.
Yeah,
you can just steamroll the whole game.
Just, wow. That's a good roll.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Just listen to this for a minute, though. This is fun. All right, I'm gonna put chat here and game here. Where is?
Hi.
There's Dana. Okay, perfect.
That's funny. Perfect timing.
Right. So
Josephine didn't get a nap today, so putting her down was fun.
I've been there before, and that's tough. All right, so
she's like not a meltdowny baby. She just gets like sad and cuddly, but not like melting down. So I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah.
It just makes it hard to put her down because she's cute.
On loop.
So Dana, give this a listen for a minute. This felt like a very you aesthetic game when I saw it a couple weeks ago, and it's now free on Game Pass.
You know what? It kind of reminds me of Jackbox, actually.
It's like visually, yeah.
Kind of that. I don't know, something about it.
And a little bit, yeah. It's like Jackbox plus like.
This is. I don't know if you guys saw it. I showed it on stream during a shenanigaming session, but we didn't do a whole night on it, I don't think. This is the artist from Dicey Dungeons.
Oh, yes, we did look at that.
Okay.
That looked super fun. I enjoyed getting a glimpse at that one.
I think I remember that, but I might have been there.
I love the beep speech in this one.
Oh my gosh, next week. As in, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, we're doing Elizabeth Medina Gray's speech on my stream.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic.
So y'all can hear
Nice.
all about it.
Do a preview and make it hype for this game.
That's not tomorrow. That's 8 days from now, right?
That's 8 days from now. Tomorrow is Will Ayers, and we're talking about Echo the Dolphin, etc.
Yes. Okay. I will make every effort to be there for that.
It's gonna be a good one. I'm excited. I finished the PowerPoint and it's gorgeous. A lot of them have been gorgeous. That's one thing I can do really well for the
I want
stream.
you to send me mine.
Oh yeah, I'll do that.
I'll be like, hey, I'll bring it to class and be like, I didn't make this slide, but I did the content, so okay.
If you ever present on it again, you could just
Technically,
modify it.
I'm like, hey, this is my thing.
So I love the main character here is a little girl with a prosthetic computer arm that she has floppy disks for. And the computer arm projects this mean-looking succulent-kicking plant.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was a boy because Carlton. I didn't know what the label
Carlton
was.
is the computer's name, right?
Oh. I could be paying attention, but I'm just
Yeah.
like
Phoebe and Carlton.
Oh, I see. I call them Floppy Night. This is a extremely fun soundtrack plus. Oh, I'm getting like 3DS vibes. I'm getting full vibes.
This is strong, like, indie development vibes for me all around, and I mean that in the best, most complimentary
Yeah,
way
like
possible.
the good indie vibes. Not like cheap.
Right, right.
Clever and cute and interesting.
And of course the floppy
Hey,
disk for the save
Andrew.
icon. What's up, Andrew?
Seriously, best beep speech.
It is important to have fun while you work. I love that the computer says loading simulation and knows that it doesn't need to.
Battle start.
Succulent Kicker, the best name for a little critter in a video game ever.
He's a little succulent.
He's a succulent and he'll kick you. That's right, the Succulent Kicker.
Yeah. It's like in Community how they have the action franchise Kick Puncher.
Right.
His kicks are as strong as punches.
Yeah. So in terms of gameplay, we've got HP, we've got how much damage they deal, how far they can move, and what their attack range is. Captain Thistle has to get right up close to you to prick you.
Makes sense.
Did a cactuar make this game?
Alright.
That's just wishful thinking, Julianne.
I invested 1,000 needles into this.
Okay. We only have so much energy every turn. This is a Slay the Spire meets Tactics role-playing games. Gameplay hybrid.
There's a lot going on. I really like that hot dog poster that says hungry, I think. Background.
Yes. That is Aces.
I want one of those. Like,
Alright, so we drag our card onto our knight to move, and now we can move. Check this out. Yay! We will move over to the Succulent Kicker. Yeah. Alright, we get one free attack around, so we will do that. Alright, we'll hit our Succulent Kicker.
I'm kind of zoning out, not gonna lie. Hello.
It's
Hi,
fine.
stream.
This is just like the basic mechanics stage.
do we know who did the music?
I
Let's
don't
Google.
know. I should.
Right. There's the Twitter. Okay.
Graham Nesbitt, it says.
All right.
The soundtrack is awesome.
Just gonna do a little Google.
You know what I'm getting? The Mario and Luigi series. That's what it sounds like to me. Like, what is the vibe of this music?
I was gonna
Like
say it kind of
ballads
reminds me
of,
of like Yoshi's Island-y. Like
Yeah, like that kind of. Like it's basically the
Yep.
Mario RPG.
I buy that.
Ooh. He scored something there's a trailer for called Garden Story for Switch.
Oh, I've seen Garden Story.
Uh,
Garden Story sounds like a fake game, like made to be like, hey, what games are cool right now that people buy? It's something called Garden Story. Okay, go. Is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, not to be
oh
derogatory.
wow, only started composing, well, shifting to composing in 2014.
Garden Story is about the little fruit that becomes in charge of defending the garden, right?
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
watching the trailer at the moment,
Plants
but
versus-
based on the thumbnail,
Yeah, it's very good.
holding a sword. Yeah, Graham's background is in guitar, playing in bands, and then started composing in 2014, doing game jams.
For the Steam games.
Nice.
Oregon. Yeah.
And then put out a concept album using retro game sound fonts called The Secret of Moonlight Shore in 2017, which led to working on games full-time.
Awesome.
And according to his website, he aims to provide the same level of enjoyableness as his favorite classic Nintendo soundtrack, so that connection we're drawing is not accidental.
Yay.
Excellent.
Hi, Karen.
First of all,
Hello, Karen.
Nesbitt is a great last name for a video game music person.
Bit
Yeah,
Nesbit.
Nesbit. Yeah.
Ness and
Nesbitt.
Bit. Perfect.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. This
I
is what
really
you're
like-
born to do, Graham Nesbitt.
I really like the fanfare right here when combat actually starts. Wait for it here. Soon we will no longer be an unnecessary burden on your parents. Yeah, you will. You're a kid.
Jeez, Carlton. The animation style kind of reminds me of like, yeah, I'm trying to place it. Steven Universe, is that kind of
Yeah.
Maybe.
the
This
big
is-
eyes?
Yeah.
I mean,
I see
I don't
that.
know.
I feel like this is an animation style
quite.
on a budget. Like, the direction is very good, but the technical complexity is relatively low, if that makes sense.
hmm
But I think they get a lot of mileage out of it here.
Yeah, it's not like they're trying for something and cheaping out on that thing. Like,
Yeah, it's just like,
right.
this. Instead of being like a pre-rendered cutscene, this is like almost like visual novel style, where there's a little bit of facial animation. You know, like they're moving a little bit.
Right.
a little Professor Layton in there with the
Yeah.
the
Yep.
the set. Is it the blocking? Stage blocking.
I think it's purely the eyes on the one on the left that was making me Steven Universe.
Steven Universe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like as I'm looking at
There's
Steven
a lot.
Universe, I'm like, it's not quite. It's not quite the animation.
I love that adorable fanfare. Alright, defeat all the enemies. Don't lose units. We can do this. Alright.
This company comes out of Portland, Oregon. So
Yeah, Oregon,
see how
not
many-
Oregon.
See how many birds are on it. Or in it.
I was gonna say, heaven help you if you say Oregon.
That's how I
To
grew up
someone from
saying
there.
it. I feel like I
Yeah.
was taught Oregon. Like
And then you meet someone from there and you learn
And
that
you're
that is
like,
like a
what?
cardinal sin.
like Nevada versus Nevada. Which was like a plot point in 8. But I learned Nevada, I learned Oregon. Which is like several sided shape. Florida. Okay. Yeah, looking at this. games about them. Striking artwork and unforgettable soundtrack. Like, that's their, like, mission statement, basically.
Nice. We own now the succulent kicker.
Owned.
Good stuff.
I like how it's like card, like a card, a tabletop card game. They started out in VR and AR.
Huh.
Oh, and currently developing Floppy Nights and characters publishing with Picogram's Garden Story. Well, it came out. You gotta pay for it. Playing it. Oh my gosh, Flash. Rest in peace, Flash. Okay. Well. Oh, this really did just May 24th.
Yeah, this is new.
New. Big game.
Look, it's a Spitoonia that we got.
That's just cute.
I love that it's plant-driven.
Plant-based.
Howard.
Love a good plant-based game.
Plants vs. Zombies.
I mean, oh yeah, I said Plants vs. Ninjas earlier, and I was like, I don't think that's the game, but I think I know what I'm talking. I have not eaten like right today. I need to find one.
Yeah,
I'm paying you
we
to
went
get to
to
the
a
root of
family
this
cookout.
problem, and the computer's like,
Oh.
"Is that supposed to be funny?"
That vegetable humor. You trying to be cute?
We got good food, so I'm pretty happy. I'm just tired. I was up too late last night.
Had chips for lunch.
Oh, we had watermelon here, and Josephine ate like a lot of it. So I was
Aw.
she was very excited about it.
We had a picnic out at Hawk Island this afternoon, which was really nice.
That's fun. What's
That's-
Hawk Island?
It's the local like playground, splash pad, and lakeside beach.
Ooh, that's a lot of fun.
It was. All right, we definitely want to add Spitoonia to the deck.
Burp, 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 burp.
This may be a dumb question, but like, do your kids do like daycare year round, or are they like off for summers, like a school?
This summer,
I mean, your older one I know is in like school, but
well, Owen is off of school for summer, right?
right.
And so is Oliver. He finished his kindergarten year.
Oh, he's a kindergartner already. All right.
Yeah.
I was just realizing I don't know, like people must do daycare
No,
year
I lied.
round when
He
they're
just finished
when they're
first
like full
grade.
daycare, right?
So
Oh my.
Owen will be
It's been a while since-
starting
in
fourth
my head,
grade,
your
and
kids are still
Oliver
so
will
little,
start
but yeah.
second grade.
Yeah, your kids are older than I remembered because time keeps moving.
That's right. Yeah, 9 and 7 now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
They're
Well, then that doesn't. I'll have to ask my friend. I imagine that they just daycare year round, right?
Mine are home for the summer.
Yeah.
We, in retrospect, what I should have done is daycare 3 days a week so that I could have some work time.
Yeah, I guess it's just a matter of what you pay for then.
That's right. So normally I am a 9-month contract and I'm off in the summers. And I do understand that, like, I'm a teacher, right? Teachers have to work even though they're off. But I'm paid for 9 months.
This is when we catch up on all the work.
Right? So, for instance, what I should do is write for you and sing for Andrew Lors, which I did today and sent him his materials. You're up next,
Nice.
by the way, Dana. But now I have to do that while I watch The Boys, right? Or I give up some evenings, which
Yeah.
For most personal boundary stuff, I try to not do. So I will work at some point during the day. There's a couple hours where I'm saying, boys, entertain yourselves, and I will work. And now they are old enough that I can kind of do that. A couple years ago, like during the pandemic, it was not possible.
Yeah. Yeah, mine is hitting that toddler phase where.
Yeah, they're going to camp this coming Sunday through Wednesday, which is fun.
Fun.
And I would like to sign them up for a few more programs, if we can. Things like swim lessons at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Piano lessons, if possible, should be in the works. But it's tough with the pandemic conditions. Like, you can't exactly like go over to an old lady's house with your 9-year-old and have them learn piano. Which was my model for like being a child musician, right?
True. And I didn't have any private students this past year. And I wasn't specifically not trying to have students. Just was what it was.
Yep. Die. We will move here.
I never went to camp as a kid.
I did like a couple day camps, but I didn't ever do like a big sleepaway camp like you see in the movies. I always thought that sounded so romantic.
I thought my parents were gonna do that to me as a punishment, so that always scared me, and so I was like afraid. I was also such a homebody kid, like I wouldn't dare ask to do camp.
Yeah, I wanted to like sit on the porch and play Tetris on my Game Boy, like and read a lot and like draw and go outside, and I was pretty good at entertaining myself, I think.
I never went to an overnight camp until I was older, but we're gonna try it with the boys.
Yeah, I did orchestra camps when I was in middle school that were overnight. But a lot of people love them. But yeah, all of my camps were never just like be in the woods, like learning your like tying knots types of camps. They were always like centered around an activity. Like you're going to go to, orchestra camp, or we did the nerdiest one that I did for a bunch of years was called Ohio Heritage Camp.
That sounds scary.
It was put on by the local historical society, and we have like it's kind of a mini museum that we run where we have the oldest house in the city that they run as a museum, and you can like learn how people lived in the 1800s. And they do a whole camp where you learn the history of that specific family that lived there, but then also just like people in general. And the best day of camp is you do chores like they did in the 1800s. So you like learn how to do laundry, like with the washboard, and like you beat the rugs with like a beater, and like cook everything from scratch, and like it's so silly. But yeah, that was like a big attraction for the kids.
Okay, so not like a white supremacy thing.
What?
Like heritage. Whenever I hear heritage, and I'm like, okay, is that like a thinly veiled sort of thing?
Yeah, no, it's like it was history camp, and you'd like there was a section where you'd sit and you'd sit through like school, and they'd give you like the old readers,
Julian's
like
East Coast Ivy League heritage is showing here.
Yeah, you'd sit and like pretend to school, and they would show you how you would like learn how to write cursive like on a little slate chalkboard, and like that type of very Little House on the Prairie. Like there were definitely kids that showed up in bonnets to this.
Oh, they really went for the cosplay.
That like their parents probably found in like Amish country, because Ohio has a lot of like Amish enclaves. Did other campers concentrate really hard on what? I don't know.
The bonnets are intense, I'm not gonna lie.
So it was a little intense, but It's a cute little museum because it's just, it's like a one room. It was a 2-floor house, but it was like built around like the hearth in the main floor, and then there were like 2 bedrooms up on the second floor. So it's very tiny. If you take the tour, it's like 15-20 minutes.
I don't think I want another succulent kicker right now.
But yeah, that's the funny thing is you can like,
Maybe I do.
even though like you're just doing chores, that it was only the one day. You did like other history activities throughout the week, but the chore day was always the really popular day. And it's so funny that you can get kids to be excited about doing chores because they're like old timey and not what they normally do, like anything out of the ordinary. Like you're literally just learning how they did their laundry, but like that's fascinating, right? Just throw it in a machine.
Like fighting in chat about where I lived in South Jersey because the Washington Township and Gloucester County were very different. Anyway, not Millville.
I love that Phoebe and Carlton are going to fight Alex and Snarlton.
This is giving me Celeste vibes now.
Mm-hmm.
Battling.
Oh, my
The beep
cranky
speech,
baby.
too.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear her. She didn't get a nap today. Joe just like forgot that she needed a nap. He got like absorbed in work. So, and
Yeah.
like she was a champion. She did not melt. Like I said, she didn't melt down. But I can feel it now. I'm like, oh, you're sleepy. You just need to sleep. But when they're so tired, they like, they're like, I don't feel good. You're like, just sleep. But they're, you can't reason with them. They don't understand that sleeping makes it better.
Sleeping makes it better. Oh man, I remember naps were the worst part of preschool, and now they're I just try to sneak a nap whenever I can.
Right.
I'm like, geez, kid me.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, kid?
All right, let's see what we got. Get to the veggies before the slimes do. I guess that means this turn.
Karen loves naps. Yes.
Everybody loves naps. Naps are
I'm
the
going
best.
to pay attention to the game.
It's a chill stream tonight, everyone.
It
very-
is a chill stream tonight.
We're tired. I was up until almost 5 last morning.
That is, more than night. Why? Just working?
Yeah.
Child.
I'm in such a blitz from now until the end of June. Like, everyone, why do we have 8-week summer courses? Why can't we just take the whole summer? It's not like they have to pay me more. Literally the same amount of money. Just don't make me teach a condensed course. On top of, like, this being probably one of the busiest years for weddings ever because of pandemic weddings getting rescheduled.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
So yeah, I'm like turning
The term
down
straight
gigs.
fried is censored, and I had to allow it on Twitch. Sorry, I just see it.
Wait, what was censored on Twitch?
Straight fried. The full term straight fried.
Oh. Nice.
I do, but like it seems so. I didn't realize it was so connected. I think it was a joke, and I know that people are like straight fried.
And meanwhile, I'm like getting texts right now about weddings. So like, just goes to show you, like, I'm never not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hell month for wedding people, wedding workers, and etc.
Oh man, Captain Thistle is gonna die.
I'm just trying to move and get research work done. I'm not getting any of those things. But it's still pretty it means I do take a nap every day. I'm regretting it. I got my brother on the Final Fantasy.
Did you?
Oh,
Nice.
I'll tell you. Bridgerton was fun, and now we're seeing everyone wanting all the Bridgerton music at their weddings.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Of course not. It's all Vitamin String Quartet, which was already the bane of my existence. Because let me tell y'all a secret about Vitamin String Quartet. They overdub like nobody's business. So when brides are like, I really want their, whatever, you go, you're like, okay, cool, I'll do it. And then you look and it's got like 3 cello parts. You're like, that's not playable with a string quartet. They've overdubbed themselves.
Right.
And they do that sort of thing all the time. So it's still strings, or they'll have reverb, they'll do effect, they do studio stuff. So it's really good. It's good arrangements. And the other thing is sometimes they sell them and you can just buy that arrangement. But a lot of things, it's a licensing nightmare. So there's a lot of their most popular stuff. They only have the license where they were able to like make and sell that recording of it.
Sure.
And not like, let's when you do an arrangement, that's a totally different license through a music publisher to do like a sheet music arrangement. So sometimes stuff just isn't available. And my guess is a lot of the stuff that isn't available is because it's not, it's either, they couldn't get the license or more likely it's not actually a string quartet. So yeah, I did arrange the theme though, Bridgerton theme. So that's in my repertoire because like
Nice.
that's fun. Everyone will be like, oh, that's fun. And I have the, they have a very prominent use of Ariana Grande's "Thank You Next" in season 1 when like Daphne, she's at a ball with the Duke.
Yeah.
For anyone who follows the series,
I do not. But...
and I think
I've seen
that's
it.
like when they first dance together or whatever. So like that's a very prominently used song, and the arrangement is super cool. So I did that one. I have that full set. I got that together. Yeah, like you can do it if you have a quintet, but often they have like 2 cellos at least. You're just like, this isn't doable. And I also have issues sometimes where brides want a lot more music than they pay for. Like they hire a string duo and then they're expecting like orchestration, and you're like, you get melody and bass.
Yeah.
If you want it to sound orchestral, bare minimum, you're like, just get a quartet. I can cover almost everything if we just have a quartet. There's a reason that's like a set instrumentation. It works. You have enough harmony for it to hang together. But I think people can, unless you play it for them, like I've done that before when I sit down with a bride, and they're like hemming and hawing about like, oh, I don't know how many musicians, I will mute parts. I'll play them. Like, here's what it sounds like if you don't have those inner voices.
Yeah.
Like, and like, not that it's not lovely, but like, just so you get a sense of like what you're picturing in your head is this like lush, full thing. Here's what's possible.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm trying to like upsell you, it's just the reality of, even if you put chords on your musician, like, and have us play some double stops, we can't do that for every single thing.
Yeah.
You can't completely cover an inner harmony part between 2 people. So.
Right.
Yeah, and I think in general, I'm sure this is true in a lot of cities. Like, there's kind of like a set rate that you will pay for your wedding musicians, where you might be able to get students to work for a little less, but in general, like, it's a pretty set rate, and I think it's fair because it's kind of market driven. If you go too high, people won't. Only the really high end weddings will pay for it. So.
Yeah.
There are I actually have a good friend that does some of the looping and overdubbing. But here's the thing. Throw some more on there, canon and bong. The thing, that's the other thing, is like, they're like, oh, you can do a loop pedal. It's like, okay, but you have to set up the loop. Like, the actual form of the piece has to change in order for me to set up the, like, I don't actually have a loop pedal, so I don't do this personally, but and I usually, if I get a gig that wants that, I kind of kick it to, there's a couple of violinists that kind of thrive on solo. I don't enjoy solo violin gigs as much. I've done them. I'm more willing to do them if I know the people and I really care about the people involved. But like, the bane of my existence is like wandering violinist cocktail hour. Like, you get the drunk bros asking for "My Heart Will Go On," and like, I'm not good at that banter.
See, I'm really good at the bantering part of it. I just don't play violin.
It's that people are like, they think they're being really clever and they're like requesting dumb shit, and you're just like, is that actually a request, or are you just like messing with me? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of. I can do it, but it's like
So
not my
depending on the level of drunkenness, right? You play them 2 measures, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're the best living human,"
Yeah,
and then you get to
it
move
depends.
on, right? Like,
That exact example, actually, I have done where I've played it like very deadpan, like right at them, like eye contact unbroken. Like, you asked for this, you're
you will receive it from me directly to you,
yes,
right?
yes. But yeah, I have some really interesting stuff coming up, like request-wise. If anyone, and not that I expect you to, but I do my office hours streams, and like no one shows up, so I've started to just do other work. Of course, like every
Right,
professor for
That's
office hours, because who shows up there? Yeah.
Office hours, in case I have students watching, spoiler alert, office hours are designated time for me to get my job done. They're only half designed for you.
They're like, I just happen to be in this room right now.
Yeah, like
Right.
I feel I'm always like at the ready, like if somebody pops in with a question or something. But
Yeah.
what I did the other night is I have somebody I went to high school with that wants a bunch of orchestral stuff condensed. So it's not really, it's less arranging and more transcribing and then figuring out how to cut. So what I did on Tuesday, that was Tuesday. What I did on Tuesday was she wanted the finale from Firebird for a string quartet. So I had, I cut that down and in about an hour, and it actually turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Because luckily, when you sometimes when you're looking at a giant orchestral score too, you're like, gosh, there's like 80 parts. Like, and then you start looking at it and you're like, oh, the clarinets and the sax are like doubling here. Like, there's a lot of stuff in unison. But sometimes looking at a score, you're just like, oh my gosh, there's so many parts. And then that was actually one that I had been kind of putting off because I was like, oh my gosh, Firebird is so big.
Yeah.
And then I started doing it. I'm like, oh, this actually is fine. And there were things that like I got to try live where I was just like, okay, let's pull this. Like, can I live without this? And then I would delete it and like listen and go, okay, yeah, I think I can live without that like inner voice, or go with this one instead or something like that. But yeah, I don't not enjoy the arranging, so I don't want like anyone to take when I talk about Vitamin String Quartet. Sometimes that's a really fun challenge. It just gets complicated if somebody's expectations are in one place and you can't get them to kind of like understand what they have in front of them.
Yep.
Because weddings are emotional for people. But yeah, I get to do some really fun ones. I just did an arrangement of Shape of You by Ed Sheeran.
Nice.
It kind of slaps. I'm like, yeah, this works. I want an MMO that's also an RTS. Yeah, that does. I mean, that's anytime you're like doing client-facing work.
Yeah, it's like, that's a client.
Yep.
Your budget is.
Nothing wrong with card games.
Playing one now, basically.
I know this one.
It's multiplayer at all.
Oh, it's
like-
Rolling Stones. Okay. Do y'all know Beast of Burden by the Rolling Stones? That just got requested for a cocktail hour.
I feel like I've heard that. I'm not a Rolling Stones person though, so I might not have actually.
Yeah, I didn't really grow up on them, so I'm gonna have to take a listen. Let's see, what other fun ones did I just recently get into my repertoire here? Obviously, all the classical wedding is in August, but I'm getting them parts now. So they did like Firebird. They did the slow movement of Beethoven 2, or Beethoven 7, the second movement. So stuff like that. The Swan,
I'm gonna have no music at my wedding.
So you're
Done
just
with
gonna
music.
John Cage it?
I'm done with music professionally. Just gonna,
What?
like, just too tired. I'm tired of my job. Just kidding.
No, honestly, if you book a good musician, like they can just be like show you what they're my favorite is when I get a bride that's like, what are you excited about in your collection? Like,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
let me show you, especially if it's a cocktail hour. Because let me tell you, so many people are like, well, we just want like fun, like pop music for cocktail hour. And then I introduce them to my set of binders with my antique sheet music from my grandparents. I inherited the contents of my grandparents' piano bench. And so I had all this sheet music from like the 1910s to like the 1950s. And I just turned it all into string quartets. So it was more transcription than like a little bit of arranging, but mostly just transcribing. And all those like, I'm like, imagine the way you look tonight, but the whole set is like that. And everybody's sipping a cocktail and it's classy AF.
Yes.
And then I play them some of that stuff. I'm like, just the harmonies are really full and rich. There's all that kind of like jazziness happening. It just sounds like class. And so that's the thing that like, they're not going to think to ask for that. That's like my grandparents' generation, you know, but it sounds so cool. So that's always like when they're like, what do you think? Or I steer them to like Beatles always works, you know? Like I have some great Beatles tunes. I know I should be paying attention to this game, but
Well, it's a tactics game. It's
so
hard,
we're
right?
we're just vibing
we're
here.
just vibing tonight.
Yeah.
Like looking at cards, looking at the thing, and I'm just like, yes, I was gonna say rat screw. I didn't know it was rat's crew. Wait a minute.
No, it isn't. Wait.
I was Team Karen of. We have an Egyptologist here who can tell us. Okay, so fellow South. Well, Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, move the S over.
Screw.
Is always
Let's see what I got here.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I've been calling it rat screw, but it's really rat screw. But okay, so the internet agrees. Interesting.
Bye-bye, succulent kicker.
Hot sauce has an official. Oh, sriracha. Wait, what? Oh, so they're just. I thought you were saying sriracha as a game called sriracha, but it's actually Egyptian rat.
Rat's Crew is a rowboat race down the Nile. Yes.
Regatta is kind of cheese. God. Sorry, Andrew, for ganging up on you. I was confused.
Yeah, I was really thrown. That just
I
goes to
was,
show you, like, you can
ready to
easily,
go.
if you only hear it out loud, it's like very easy to hear it that way.
I was like ready to be like mind blown. I had been just saying it wrong. I was
Yeah, I was gonna have like a Mandela effect there.
saying it right but spelling it wrong. It's not that I think I've ever written it out.
All right. We got this. I'm okay at tactics games.
No, I need to like learn how to be a gardener. Well, like learn how to plant things for my new house that I am going to have. I'm going to be a
so
homeowner.
fun.
We haven't been cleared to close yet, but buying a house. As lucky as it is to be in a situation where you can say, hey, I'm going to buy a house, it is terrible, terrible experience.
Oh.
Really, especially now, I think, because of the market being insane.
Mm-hmm.
But
I know I don't
lucky.
envy you doing this when you're doing this. I feel like we got in before things got really bad.
There was, I mean, everything has been pretty bad for a while, but like right now we have a particularly crazy thing. But at least Tallahassee is not a wild market. I mean, it's pretty hot, relatively speaking, but it's nowhere near Austin levels, which remains like keeps rising in like the most expensive city outside of LA, including New York. But it's like, how is that possible? I don't know. I think it's just like something average because there's actually a lot of folks in New York. I don't know. Austin's insane, so I would never be able to buy here. But oh boy, if you don't like, you just get screwed over in so many ways. There's just so many ways to get. I'm not gonna say Egyptian rats. Rats crew.
Crew for the rat.
Crew. Library of Alexandria, we're gone.
Right, this took me a long time, but it's happening now.
I mean, I could listen to the soundtrack while working and just be like, yeah.
I listened to Echo the Dolphin all day to prep for the Will stream tomorrow.
Nice.
And I was like, gosh, this music is so good. We were talking about how it's actually really good, like, working music. We did a test call today for levels and stuff. It was also really good to see Will because it's been a few years. Pandemic
Yeah, it's
and
been
all
a while
that.
for me too.
Also,
Yeah.
I'm excited about this piece because I don't know, was that Hartford that Will presented this one?
Yeah, I think so.
I remember just being like gobsmacked by it and like, when is this coming out in print? I want it. It was,
It was so like fun and smart and funny, which
Yes.
he always does.
yeah,
like-
he's just got
Yeah.
such a natural flow.
But it was also like
in how he
I was
presents
fascinated
material.
by that particular paper too, like the post-human. We had that whole post-human panel basically.
Yeah.
And I just
Because
think
didn't
that's-
Andrea do the
Yeah, I think it was like Will, Andrea, and Stefan who did post-humanism stuff. That
so good.
it was just
Yeah, Will is somebody that just consistently I've loved his papers. And that, like, from day one, like Nakvigam 1, he did one on stacking and the use of Chopin in that.
Oh yeah.
oh wow.
And then like years later I played the game. I had it like in my Steam forever, and like when I sat down to play it, it was so enjoyable because I was like, I remember this paper and how good it was. I remember the Death in Video Games one and how good that was. And then yeah, this like echolocation and the way he brought in like disability theory and games for the blind, and I was just like, oh, I love it. I love every single piece of this. It's so good. So I recommend, catch the VOD if you can't come to the stream. I will just like say for the good of the order that I do have recordings of everything. So as I don't think I'm at a point yet where the VODs are gonna like kick each other out. Like Ryan has done so many that like, the most recent one will drop off.
Yes, in fact, every once in a while I will forget to upload something and we lose a week. That happens now and then.
Yeah. Mine, I do have all the recordings sitting in my network storage. I'm going to wait until I get through my course splits here in July, and then I'm just gonna spend a lot of July like getting those up. I may just go with auto captioning. I'm gonna try to actually finish captioning Wombat so it's like a usable resource. I think for my streams, maybe that's a long-term goal to get them all like actually captioned. But I may just go with auto cap because it's like, when you have hours of footage that does, I'm learning how long that takes.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand why transcription services are so expensive. Because it is a lot. And there used to be, YouTube used to offer community captioning where like,
yeah, they got rid of that, didn't they?
they got rid of that. It used to be a thing where like, if you had like followers, they could actually help caption the video. And I think you had I'm guessing you had approval as the creator if people were like putting in captions. But that way you could like get things cleaned up because a lot of names get butchered, and certainly if I say Nakvigam, that's always going to be a disaster.
Yeah, that's always
Yes,
auto
that
captioning.
one is not good for the auto caption. Though it's far better than it has any right to be. Full disclosure, for my voice specifically. And let me recognize that I am that I am a
male
white
supremacy.
man of Norwegian origin, right? Like,
Yeah.
but for me, the auto captioning was so good that the year that I did the League of Legends esports-ish paper at NACVGM, all of the names of the League of Legends characters needed no correction from me. It was outrageously
So
excellent.
weird. That's
Even
so weird.
Ryze,
And he's great.
like the magician, was RYZE when I said it.
Wow.
Zero corrections
That's amazing.
from me on the YouTube auto captioner.
And I know that I have trouble with like text to speech on my iPhone, or like if I ask like Google or Siri to do stuff, they never understand me. And I'm like, am I enunciating enough for you, jerk? I get really mad.
Yeah, the one that really nailed it for me was the Freljord. Correct. On YouTube's auto captioner for me. The only
unfair.
change I had to make was
It must like you
NACVGM.
better.
It likes white
They're not big
dudes.
enough
Seriously, it's designed for white dudes, it's designed by white dudes, and it
Designed
practices
by
on white
white
dudes.
dudes.
That's why it understands me.
Love a tech bro world.
Yeah, Freljord is Freijord.
Yeah.
And it knew it immediately,
No.
which is wild.
I don't even want it. I should try saying that in a broadcast and just see what it comes up with. The hot nonsense it would return to me.
Hot, steaming, wet nonsense.
Ew.
Yeah, exactly.
Other fun news is I got the stream scheduled through August.
Oh, wow. That's actually very cool.
Yeah, that's always like want to be a couple months out if I can.
Are you okay with previewing the folks on, like, telling
Yeah,
us now?
I posted it, but let me read it to y'all.
Yay!
Sounds great.
So tomorrow is Will airs on echolocation in video games. Let me jump down to the right spot here. Yes, what is it like to be a dolphin? Echolocation and subjectivity in video games from J. Smig. And then June 24th is another AMS Ludo study group collab. We're going to have on Elizabeth Medina Gray, and we're going to do Beep Speech, interacting with soundscapes, music, sound effects, and dialogue from the Cambridge Companion. July 1st is William Gibbons on stream
Oh my gosh!
on Twitch.
What?
Oh, man. How'd you get him on?
Clutch, that's like a clutch to your chest, like, oh my goodness. Will Gibbons on a stream. Yeah, and when I asked him, he was like, I'm honored you asked me. I'm like, what?
You should call him on that. Be like, come on, bro.
We've been trying to get you on Thursday. I think it must be too late for him on Thursdays. That's my only guess. But yeah, he's like real excited.
Is it a matter of timing or is it a matter of academic formality? Because I'll be the first to admit that
yeah.
like this is not designed for that per se.
Yeah.
There are days we get down to serious business, but most of the time this is like hanging out with us time, right?
I think some people just don't like I don't watch Twitch besides like Dana's stream and being on Twitch.
I watched a few people, not a ton.
It's hard for me. Like I watch Doug sometimes.
I do Doug streams a lot.
Like I'm not a watcher of things, so maybe I feel like Will might be somewhere in there too.
Yeah, I think that's
The folks
accurate.
connected to Swag Fam are all baller individuals that are worth your time.
But
That's what I'll
yeah,
say.
for Will, obviously, it was like, well, what article do you do for Will? He has so much. He publishes like constantly, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, everyone knows Blip Loop Bach. I don't think we need to do that one. Like, people should know that one, and I think most people do. So I asked him, I'm like, what's something that you feel like doesn't have a lot of reach because, like, you published it in kind of a weird place? Or what do you think more, like, are you really proud of that you feel like not a lot of people have seen yet? And his response, and I agree, this is a good one, is Little Harmonic Labyrinths, Baroque musical style on the NES, because it was in a Palgrave book that's pretty expensive, recomposing the past representations of early music on stage and screen. And I think the reason a lot of us will not have, unless you like sought it out on your own for other reasons, most of us wouldn't have bought that book because it's not like a Ludo book. It's like film and, TV and
like a library book at most.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like one that maybe you catch his chapter in the library, but a lot of us don't own a copy. And even though I've read this chapter before, I only bought a copy of the book this past year because I was teaching some medievalism stuff out of it for my early music seminar. So like, I think Will had sent me like a PDF of his actual chapter because I wanted to read it, but I was like, that book is like expensive. So that's the perfect thing for this type of stream. That's like kind of how I'm phrasing it to some of these people where there's like a lot of things. Like, what's something that's like really good to expose people to? And that way they have a sense of like, okay, I can seek this out through my library if I, like, simple idea, you can like read it. July 8th is Kevin Burke, Alien Waves, Sonic Reverberation, the RPG interface and Lagrange Point from the Green Book, which is cool because like Lagrange Point is well-known games, I think.
Oh yeah.
And I'm excited to have Kevin on in general. Like,
yeah, that'll be
what
fun.
A powerhouse of information about the tech side of game audio.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
July 15th is Elizabeth Hambleton, Soundwalks, Gray Areas, analyzing navigable narratives in the not-so-uncanny valley between Soundwalks video games and literary computer games from JSPEG.
Nice.
July 22nd is Bill O'Hara, mapping sound, player performance, and analysis in Proteus. So excited for that.
Ooh.
That's a fun piece.
I assign Proteus to all my game design undergrads.
Yeah, and I know Kate always does too, because Kate does like Soundwalks on Proteus.
The game? I assign it too.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really good one.
It's a little expensive. Like, it's not expensive. It's $10, but like that's expensive.
That's usually like the upper limit of what you want.
Yeah, I'm usually like, here's a $2 game.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I'm not making you buy a textbook, so we'll make you buy Proteus.
That's true. I have to think about that in the future. July 29th is the next American Musicological Society Ludo Study Group collab, and it's Kate Galloway's Sound Walking and the Orality of Stardew Valley, which we all know I'm here for, from the Green Book, which it's the autoethnography among other things. So fun. I love that chapter. Very excited to do that. And then for August, which I just finalized, August 5th is Tim Summers.
Nice.
Goodness.
And that was another one where I was like, you have too many things, and 2 of them are books that we will get to. Yeah, we will probably do those books. I'm thinking it might be fun in the school year to do, like, spend a month on a book, and then a month of guests, and then do a month on a, like, kind of back and forth.
Yeah.
It also takes the pressure off where, like, Tim wouldn't have to show up to all of, he could just come at the end and we could just do a big, like, discussion or something. I'm still deciding on format for the monograph series. But anyway, I had the same question to Tim. I'm like, what's something that, isn't maybe as well read? A lot of people have read your Wagner and video games, Parsifal, chapter, like what else? And he proposed one that I was excited about, which is his Fantasias on a Theme by Walt Disney, Playful Listening in Video Games in the Oxford Handbook of Cinematic Listening from last year.
Have you had Tim come to your class before, like virtually?
No.
He's so much fun. You'll love talking to him.
I adore everything I do. I've been on like random virtual panels with Tim, and Tim is just a delight. And we've actually had like a really long series of emails back and forth. We've just kind of gone off on tangents, even though we already got the stream scheduled. We're just talking about just like a little bit of gossip.
Yeah.
About some things, but also just like talking about like publishing and like
in S tier human. Tim Summers.
Tim is a great human being. So I'm so excited. Well, I was like, we're gonna have you on a bunch as long as you don't hate your experience. we'll bring you on as much as you're available. August 12th is Megan Lavengood for timbre, genre, and polystylism in Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I was really excited to do
Sega
that
stuff. I'm excited
because
for.
A it's Sega stuff. B it's timbre work, which Megan's dissertation is on that, and it's fantastic. I've cited it a bunch of places, so it's fun to see some of this work come out. And that's also like it's a Palgrave book on popular music, and it's Unruly Entanglements. So it's another one that people may not have seen or bought. Then August 19th is Sarah Osterek-Chenevey on confronting nostalgia for racism in American popular music via BioShock Infinite in the brand new nostalgia
book
video
that
game
just
music.
arrived. Yeah, it's over in the other room right now for me.
Mine is on its way to me, so hopefully it'll be here
Oh
soon
yeah,
so I
I
can
need
read
to
it.
order that, but I'm moving, so I'm like trying to
Yeah.
minimize.
I just ordered it because I scheduled her for August, so I'm like, well, now I need the book now.
There you go.
Right.
And then the end to close out August, August 26th is Julianne. Julianne Study Group. We're finally going to do the one I wanted to do initially with you, which is the Final Fantasy IV chapter.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Nice.
I looked at my schedule and I'm like, oh, the Ludo Study Group already had that on their list and they had you marked down for August. And so I was like, oh, okay. So that's actually why I had Julianne on last week to do the canon one, because I was like, I wanted Julianne on early as like a close friend and somebody that I knew I could ask right off the bat. But I was like, but the one, the like calling card one that we all love is already scheduled, but I want you on sooner than that because I'm selfish. So
Nice.
and that was a fun conversation on Friday.
Yeah,
It was. That was a really good one.
We had a lot of chat too, like people in the chat talking. Great.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
I
we had a
have
lot
a
of
question
digressions.
for folks.
Uh-oh.
And that is, I'm not going to get to too many more pieces of music because of the way a tactics game works in the
We
next
also haven't
hour.
really
We've heard the
talked about any of
vibe.
the music.
Right? No, that's fine.
We've
We're just
been
hanging out
vibing.
today.
We've been so rhymed.
Have you all played the game that came out today?
What game?
No.
We need to have a conversation about that briefly. I think that 15 or 20 minutes will do it. The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game came out today. With soundtrack
Oh.
by the guy who did Sonic Mania's soundtrack.
Okay,
Oh.
And
that's fun.
it's good. So I'm
Has-
curious if you two would object to loading that up rather than doing another hour of this.
Objection! Sorry, I had to Phoenix Wright.
I will continue to just go with the flow here.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
I will probably get another drink though. My
Yeah,
ranch
I'm
walk-
drinking Snoop Dogg rosé.
we have our brand now with like.
Yes,
two
I have
drinks
not
left.
played Chris Tales, actually, but you're now the second person to recommend it to me, so it will go on the list.
Yeah, let's see, Julianne, are you doing branch water?
Of course. And with my y'all koozie here.
I
But
think
yes,
we've had the
my-
last of our wine, so I don't know if I can get another drink in my new anniversary chalice or goblet.
Okay,
Oh,
yes.
they came.
So freaking good.
They
I'm
did
so
come.
glad.
It's
Right,
awesome.
Sounds good.
But you probably can't make out like the notated sheet music on the camera, but like
It's got
in person it
sheet
looks
music
It
amazing.
on
looks
it.
good. Like I thought it was something. I forgot that it was
Oh,
your
it's
Animal
so
Crossing
cute.
tune.
I love that.
Okay, BRB.
Okay.
BYRB.
BYR. Bring your
Right back.
my right back. Shit.
Yeah. We also ignored Pat's comment in the chat about 10 minutes ago, where he
Oh,
mentioned
yeah.
part of the reason it understood me in League of Legends is because a statistically relevant percentage of YouTube's video content is League of Legends material. So at least part of it is not my white male voice, though
Yeah.
having a white male voice from Iowa helps in a
Yeah.
understanding speech context for sure.
That's funny, though.
I do think that League of Legends vocabulary is a grammar that YouTube's text parsing system can understand.
Gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, you are speaking the common vernacular. I have a strong feeling that Riot did not go to the effort to manually caption my academic YouTube video. Oh, but you're right that
go
like
figure.
the League of
Elizabeth
Legends
just missed
streams
Floppy Nights.
would be manual.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
no,
you missed it.
Elizabeth, you missed it. We looked at Floppy Nights for an hour and we're about to jump games.
The stream starts at 9 Eastern. I'm kidding.
Yeah, Pat, that makes a lot of sense to me.
If it makes you feel any better, Elizabeth, we were mostly vibing and didn't really talk about the music.
Talk about everything else.
We were like previewing stuff that's going to be
The
on
music is
stream,
very
on my
good.
stream,
That's your quick
we're
rundown.
just talking
It's
about being tired.
very chill chiptune
Where my
aesthetic.
ranch water buddy was.
Wait, which one are you doing? Is it the spicy one?
Actually, the spicy one is at the back of the box, so I have prickly pear now.
It sounds so good, and I have yet to buy the variety pack, which I'm interested in doing.
I will buy it for you at this rate. That's how weirdly obsessed.
Julian's gonna just ship me some ranch water. It's gonna show up like Amazoned to my door, and I'm gonna be like, "Yep, I know who this is from."
Nice. All right. So
Speaking
again,
of which, I'm gonna ship you all some homemade jam because that's
Yeah.
what I've been doing
yes,
lately.
you may do that at any time.
I've been trying to just get some things to. Originally I was gonna send some to George in the UK because we were like Instagramming about our gardens, and I was talking about how I do like really bizarre. Yeah, 'cause George and I are like buddies.
Hey,
we
wait.
give each other, like,
Just
voice
just
messages.
listen to this, folks.
Oh, okay.
This came out this morning at 11 o'clock.
Oh, it's just like the cartoon when I was a kid. My brother's gonna love this.
We will not get there in an hour, but the Wu-Tang Clan does Shredder's track at the end of this game.
What?
Found it.
How did I not hear about this game at all?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Wow.
Oh, that's my older brother was so into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh my gosh.
This game's
Oh my
whole
gosh.
philosophy is what if Konami just never quit making these things?
I love it. I already love it. I don't need to see any more. But please do. Please continue. Yes. Oh, listen to that bass.
Yeah, everything about this is excellent.
Listen to that tasty bass.
This space starving. No.
Oh my gosh. This is hitting me right in the 80s.
Right? Hold on, we don't need the combat tutorial. We're just going to be good.
Oh, here we go. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Oh no,
And why
wait.
is it Donatello?
It's Donatello because he thinks about the nature of life and philosophy in Turtles 2 and has like a smart PhD moment.
Yeah, Donatello was always my favorite.
But look, you can be Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello. April is playable now.
Wow,
We are
feminism!
we are
Plays
gender inclusive,
April.
and Splinter as well.
That's awesome, but plays April.
I will play as April. Let me lower the volume on this ever so slightly. My Stream Deck is not recognizing this, and it's loud.
Oh, I'm into it.
Yeah, but this is like the 80s. This is what I needed tonight. Thank you. Holy
There we go.
moly, I love this.
It's so good, free on Game Pass today.
It's on Game Pass. Okay, I was like free.
It's
No.
also, I think, $15 or $20 if you don't have Game
That's
Pass.
not bad.
But if you attend this stream on a regular basis, like, get Game Pass. What are y'all talking about? It's so good. All right, we
that-
must.
It's a subscription though. Subscriptions are annoying.
I have to be honest. I absolutely love the idea of playing as April O'Neil, and we are going to be doing that. Even if Dana didn't tell me to,
sure.
like, this is the best.
April O'Neil, reporting live.
Yeah, Pete's happy.
Okay.
This is already so good. I should pull it up. I went as April O'Neil as a child for Halloween.
Nice.
Let me see if I can find the picture.
See that.
Listen to that like brassy.
Wow, yep.
5 foot. like live footage. Bebop's beat.
I love that they changed the under graphics.
Mm-hmm.
For Anthony Dennis Music, if you have either Xbox or PC Game Pass, you can get it on either of those systems. If you have Game Pass Ultimate, you can get it on both for free, which is what I've got.
Job breaking news.
Wow.
But the PC Game Pass is very good. Just look at how good this is.
So, is this going to be a beat 'em up? Is it like...
Yeah, this is an old school arcade style.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at her little flying kick. Ah!
Holding that microphone the whole time. Oh, she's got her boom mic out. Oh, the camera. I love it.
Gosh, April's amazing.
Do it.
Total Chun-Li vibes from her kicks, too.
Fail challenge. Got it.
An NES would have melted with that many sprites on the screen. Hey, the Turtles game for the NES is hard enough. It didn't need more sprites. It needed me to be able to get past that freaking swimming part.
I love how I was able to juggle them for eternity there. That felt amazing.
So Carson, look at them. Telling me. That's me.
Okay, so I was 4,
What is going on?
and so it was 1990, and I don't know if this will show up on the camera.
Look at you.
My little Oshkosh Bagosh overalls.
Definitely super kick. I see it. Yeah, your little pumpkin.
And it was also, my birthday's right by Halloween, so like there I am with my birthday cake. And
Nice.
my
Oh,
April
that
O'Neil
looks
outfit.
You have not aged. It's 4 years old.
I'm also starting to see like my kid actually does look like me. She doesn't
She
just
super
look like.
looks like you.
Yeah, she
A
does.
lot of people say she's Joe's clone though, so like, and she really does look a lot like his
Looks
baby
a lot
pictures.
like
But
him.
now that like I'm starting to see more me, and it's kind of cool. It's cool how they go back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was because I had an older brother, so he, you know, I liked Thundercats and I liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because that's what he was into. So that was what I ended up watching.
Did you all catch the Foot Clan doing yoga right there?
That's adorable. Well, you know, gotta stay limber.
Right,
They were
exactly.
centered.
Fingers, they're doing yoga. They're like the dimensionality of them. Quite.
No, and
I
the
love
game, like,
the way the
I don't know if you
level
can
is.
tell on stream from not playing it, but like the animations feel incredible here.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about this is the way you want it to be.
It's a very playable cartoon in the best way.
And maybe it's just me, but I feel that if April had been playable in the 90 arcade game, that would have gone a long way to like equalize Playgard video game gender stuff. Back
Well,
then.
it's like having Mario 2 playing as Princess Peach. Like, I had a student in one of the class discussions make a comment about like not thinking that was a very big deal, and I was like, this is a generational thing, I think.
Yeah.
I'm like, it might not seem like it.
Kids these days don't know.
Yeah, and
I
I
told
didn't like shame them for the viewpoint, but I just kind of was like, if you talk to a lot of people like my generation and a little bit older, like it might seem like, oh, like what's the big deal, like, you know, why is it so hard to design a game with? Or actually, no, it wasn't it wasn't Princess Peach specifically. It was Ms. Pac-Man. Like
Oh,
why
yeah,
did
yeah.
why did that make it a difference? Like it's just Pac-Man with a bow. And I was like, you would be surprised. Like how big that, and also just like I was like divorcing it from all the like gender side of it. This Pac-Man was just a better game, like coding wise. Much better game than original Pac-Man. In terms of just everything, the randomization, like the enemy movement, everything was improved.
Yeah.
But I was like, you would be surprised, like how big of a deal that sort of thing is. So, and I cited Mario 2 as like a really big moment as like a kid gamer, being like, oh my gosh, I can play as the princess instead of just saving the princess. That's big. And I didn't have a Philips CDI, or I would have been very excited about Wand of Gamelon. And then subsequently less excited when I played it. I don't know. Maybe if I played it as a kid, I would have thought it was amazing. In the 80s to students is its own course.
I think I was talking about this, I think it was your stream, about it was about like seeing students have their period of nostalgia of like, oh, that's the game I played when I was growing up, and having it be a game I also played, but it's not my nostalgia game. It's just like, oh, I played that a few years ago.
Yeah.
Like now being like that far away from the students now is like really interesting. Like for Zelda, it was like Wind Waker is their nostalgic. It's like their link to the past, or the first Zelda. Like
right.
It's like okay, I get it.
It's interesting with like big franchises like that. With like we talked about this with your stream, like that. You go to those symphony concerts and there's kids on their feet for, the like Skyward Sword medley or whatever, whatever it is.
Right.
I'm like feeling it, and I'm like, I also feel it, but not. I know it's like I know.
You know that feeling when it's the Link to the Past one that shows up. You're like, yep.
Yeah, it's a different recognition, a different sentiment.
Yeah, I both my hips broke. Super Mario Galaxy is like an old game. Yeah, it's like a weird perspective. Like I never feel like upset. It just kind of makes me laugh when I'm like, maybe it's because of like the musicology training and like doing historical stuff, where I'm like, my conception of what's old is very different from my students, because like media seems to age fast. Like when I think old, I'm thinking of like 100 years or more. So like I don't think of like a game from the early 2000s or whatever the case may be as like old, because I'm like, this is still such a young medium or whatever. But yeah, it's like that's because like my training in historical things, like I've looked really far back from your perspective. Like, oh,
right,
I did a bunch of coursework on stuff in the medieval, and the medievalist at Ohio State was in like Carolingian medieval, so it's like right when we were starting to write everything down medieval.
Yeah.
So like about as early as you can get if you're gonna look at scores, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I'm like, my idea of what's old is, I've always felt like it's my anemoia, I guess, to use Karen's favorite term. Even as like a high schooler, I was always seeking out media from like well before my time. Like I ended up on a swing dancing team in college with my roommate. She was a dance major and was like, hey, come to swing club with me. So like I got really into like 1940s swing. And like no one my age was listening to that. I'm used to like making references to like classic film from like decades before, my era of films.
Well, I think George Sanger might have put it the best in his, if you've not read his book, he'd be the first to tell you that, like, it is more comedy than it is academic book in our modern
George
context.
Sanger,
but every once in a while, because George is just an absolute genius, he comes up with a real winning line or thought. And one of them is, near the beginning of the book, he says, we know this is still a young medium because you can't name any audio composers who have died.
Mm-hmm.
And that has since
Well-
ceased to be completely true from when he wrote it, but the sentiment remains,
Yeah,
right?
it's-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. Nolan was actually in our short list of names for a boy. Speaking of Nolan Bushnell. I like the sound of the name Nolan.
Playing. I like that.
I think it was going to be a middle name. I actually have now forgotten like what the name was going to be for if it was a boy because we didn't find out. I just remember like immediately after Joe being like basically like, who do we have? And Joe was like, it like took him a second to register. He's like, oh, we have a girl. Oh my gosh. I'm like, you know, I'm laid up. I'm like not looking.
They actually like make you like look and like say like, do you see the penis?
What?
When you're doing that ultrasound.
Yeah, they'll show
Oh.
you if you want to know.
Yeah, they'll show you.
No, I mean like they make you be the one to look to guess.
No, they do
Or-
not. They just talk you through it and tell you if you want.
Okay.
No, they'll talk you through it. Honestly, Julianne, unless you get one of those 3D like alien-looking ultrasounds, which kind of freaked me out, so I don't. I
Yeah.
They
Me
look
too.
they're gray blobs.
Yeah.
What was distinguishable, like honestly,
like, I
they
wouldn't
could have told
know.
me like you can make out the face. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, like they're like that's their arm. You're like, oh, okay, it's a blob. Like
Right,
the-
you're like,
what's
I
the-
believe you.
They're like, wow.
the spine shows up though in like it's like it almost like fluoresces. So the spine actually is like bright white on the ultrasound. So that was
Okay.
kind of cool because like you could see the shape of it and kind of like, oh, okay, I see how, you know. But in terms of when they did all the checks, they actually, because we said we didn't want to find out, they were basically just like look away for a little bit. And then they would just basically tell you everything looks good. You know, like developing normally looks healthy or whatever, or not. But yeah, they let us like look away. But the ultrasound was the moment where I sort of got the first sense of I think it's a girl, and then I had like nothing to base that on because they hadn't like told me. But I sort of and I was like, again, like what do I have to compare this to? But I sort of got this like intuition. And I had a lot of people, including my own mom, that were like not convinced. They thought I was gonna have a boy. You know, it's when you ask people and you're like, oh, we're not finding out. They're like, you're carrying low. It's a boy. Like, what does that even mean? Carrying low relative to what?
Right.
You
Relative
don't
to
know me.
my stomach sits where it sits.
This is where it sits. My parents did not, like my mom did not, their ultrasounds didn't exist for regular people, I guess, in 87. So my mom like knew she was having a boy. Well, she didn't know. But everyone was like, oh, you're carrying like a boy. So I was looking like this. Let's grab them. And then I came out as a girl. Still a girl. Be sure about that.
It's good.
And then my parents fought about my name. My mom was tired and gave up.
Yeah.
That's my story.
That's why you gotta make sure you pick one of it. Like it, you can still have things where like something gets read wrong. Like there are still cases where that has happened, where like somebody even gets told they're having one or the other, and then like, oh no.
Yeah, because it's like timing, you know, or like.
Yeah,
I will-
honestly, like the babies don't just like pose for you when you do an ultrasound. They actually, this was the funniest part. She wasn't like sitting in a way where they have to do all these checks, right? So like they actually like poked at me to get her to move. They're like, you know, like wake up in there.
Like, no.
Yeah. She was insistent.
Bunga. Okay, I want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before the gender reveal parties, before we started burning down forests because of our gender reveal fireworks.
Oh man.
Yeah, no thanks.
By the way,
I also
this is
even if we'd found out, we wouldn't
six-player
tell people.
co-op, as a tribute to the old X-Men cabinet.
Oh.
I want to do 6-player co-op. That
Me
sounds
too.
amazing. Tim and I were talking about collaborating. Not the two, although that would be amazing. I was saying how George and I were like cooking up future collaborations of like maybe writing something on identity.
Oh, nice.
And he was saying, I love co-op mode.
Wait, why is there an Elder Scrolls rap album, Pat? I don't know if I want to be introduced to that or not.
leaving that link.
Entirely
Though-
wrapped by Wes Johnson sound files. It's amazing.
I don't know if everybody on the stream knows this. I love the Elder Scrolls games, and we'll be checking that out.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll probably appreciate it more than someone who never played them.
I've never played any of the Elder Scrolls.
It's the type of game that I would have gotten sucked into, and it just missed me.
That's exactly the same.
And then I
feel
haven't
like
had
this
the
would've gotten
energy.
me, but I just didn't get it.
Yeah, and honestly, it's the same. Like, I would probably do a lot of time in like a Minecraft too. That's a kind of game I can see myself dumping hundreds of hours into. I just didn't. And then I kind of recognized if I started this, like, it could turn into a thing, and then I just didn't.
You're like, I'm not gonna even go there. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna.
so I like just haven't sent myself down that rabbit hole.
Right.
Maybe someday.
What is this song that's playing in this game?
No, Elder Scrolls for me is like, I cancel my office hours when fan projects get released.
Yeah.
I have the entirety of the printed books, printed and bound over on the shelf.
Yeah.
I love those games. Though, come MagFest time, I'm gonna play through all of this with people. 6 players.
Joe tried to print something.
There is an unlockable character as well. Once you finish the campaign, you get Casey Jones.
There's a new community named Girl King Jones, and they use It's amazing.
Listen to this rap music, by the way.
Is it Wu-Tang?
That's what I said.
So yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing in chat. Like, what's a game that like you didn't let yourself play because you knew it was going to become a problem if you did, and you have life to live?
All MMOs until the pandemic.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft until Ryan put me down, and now I'm playing not World of Warcraft, but Final Fantasy 14.
So,
And now I get it. I get MMOs now. I've never played it.
I was told by relevant people to this stream, it's Dark Sword and Arrow who recruited me to FF14 originally, that I should not think of FF14 as an MMO per se. I should think of it as the modern era of Final Fantasy narrative storytelling. Which is a sentiment I completely agree with at this point. And
I mean, it's good.
Julian has just kind of
Train.
gone over the threshold we all talk about, where the narrative starts to be like, it moves from very serviceable to facilitate these mechanics to, I am gonna play this until the end of this thing to know where this goes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you just hit like one of the big moments, I guess.
It's good. It's like a good story. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Okay, I'll keep going. And do things besides crafting. Like, I do a lot of crafting, a lot of gathering, a lot of like.
I love good craft.
Oh, see, I have not done any crafting or gathering.
Of course
But
you
that's
haven't.
that's the cool thing. Like, you can play it, like whatever game style you are, you can play it as whatever, and that's what's so addictive. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
today I don't want to play it like this, but I can still play the game and play it like another.
Yeah.
Do the hunts.
Yeah,
do
yeah.
The like treasure thing, like do story. I'm like, dang.
I need to get my hunts done.
The music for this is so
love-
good. I'm really glad you pulled this up.
This is such a good.
The music for, like, every track is a bop.
Every track is a bop. Every track is like, I want to like put on a
Is this
workout mix.
a streaming service yet? The soundtrack. I know the game was released, therefore the soundtrack must be released as well.
Yeah.
So I will put that in my life. This is called again?
I love the cowabunga at the end. I was gonna say I like their little like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song like fanfare at the end of the episodes.
For Andrew,
Also, they're called episodes.
With regard to Elden Ring, he laid out the idea for the setting. He did not write the moment-to-moment narrative of Elden Ring. If that helps.
Joe only played like a night or two of Elden Ring. Like he really didn't do a lot of Elden Ring.
Does Joe like the Souls games generally?
Yes.
Okay, because I do
And
not.
he's basically said he's gonna sit me down and like make me play one at one point. Like he's committed to it as a concept. But I don't know. I don't know if it was just like he got distracted by other things or if there was like if he just didn't like it. But there have been a few games like that where I'm like, I thought you would spend more time on this. Like Cyberpunk 2077, he did like a very bare bones run.
It's
and
not
like
good.
didn't do any like side quests or anything. He was just like, I'm gonna, because in the narrative it's presented that you only have like a few days to live or whatever. And so he was like, why would I go do sside quests? I only have a few days. I gotta do it. I was like, that's a good point.
Amazing.
But yeah, I'll have to ask him if he didn't like Elden Ring or he just like wants to get back to it or like. But I feel like when Joe really likes a game, like he'll be playing that,
Yeah, he'll play the crap out of Elden Ring. Like, I think this needs a new plus he. But
Oh look, there! I love the popsicles through the mask.
Yeah. Adorable. The little details
There's
with
a
the
lot
like
of
yoga and it makes you feel bad for beating up the foot soldiers, but they are trying to kill you, so. But they were kind of presented. They were always kind of dopey in the series too. Like,
Yeah. And in the arcade original too, they were doing that doofy stuff.
yeah.
I wish I was back home in the swamps.
Oh my gosh, that's a deep cut. This frog dude.
Holy moly! I wish you could help. Can you play?
Right?
You're just gonna stand there, huh? I bet you could join in as him if you were doing like a co-op mode once you find him.
I'll bet he unlocked some random challenge later, because
Right.
the other two people I found did that. Oh, you're my guy, foot soldier up there. There we go. You gotta juggle him all the way across the whole screen.
Yeah, I had an April O'Neil action figure.
I am in love with April O'Neil's, like, Street Fighter Alpha Chun-Li up kicks.
I was gonna say I think that was the first thing I said. She reminds me of Chun-Li. And it's purely the kicks.
Yeah, it's this move, right?
Yeah.
Just really high kicks, yeah. I really want pizza. Is it happening? I texted Neil,
That's
I know
perfect
it's
for a Ninja
late.
Turtles game.
but I'm hungry
Yeah.
now because we started playing this. It's weird. The vegetable game didn't get me hungry.
It's funny.
No, that would be healthy, right?
Sadly, it's still in the 90s. Like, it's so hot.
If you buy,
it got
Joe should
that
know
hot
this.
here,
If
too.
you buy the boxed edition of this game, it comes with a coupon for Pizza Hut pizza.
No, it
That's
doesn't.
amazing. And I didn't have to read 100 books to get it. My personal pan pizza.
It's a throwback to the original NES release of Turtles 2, which
Yeah.
also came with a
Yeah,
Pizza
I
Hut
figured
coupon.
it
Though of
did,
course that one is no longer good.
I'm just thinking of like elementary school book club, or like you do the book club through the library and they'd give you like the coupon for the
yeah.
personal pan pizza.
The personal pan pizza. I was never allowed to get that.
That sure hits the spot.
Like, Pizza Hut wasn't like we had. I think it was just my parents had pizza. Like, we're like, that's not good pizza. But I thought it was like
They had like an allure
they were
because you couldn't have
conservative
it.
about pizza, but we always had pizza. It just wasn't Pizza Hut. But I'm like, but all the cool kids get pizza. Then.
I
Not as good as like. those pizza.
I usually just make pizza instead of us, but every now and then like we'll still order pizza. I don't think we have a Pizza Hut within delivery range though.
For what?
I don't know that we have one in delivery range, but I know of ones that are like we could go sit in one, get the iconic, cups. I remember the stained glass lamps that would hang over the tables.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
like how
That
it made it
was
feel so
fun.
fancy. Like it was definitely not like a Chuck E. Cheese vibe, It was like still a restaurant like that you feel like you can go to this as a restaurant. It's not just like for kids.
Yeah, it wasn't quite.
And a lot of that was just the way they designed the interiors of the restaurant. Like I remember, there was a salad bar that made it seem kind of grown up.
Ah, I love the VO for April here.
Wait, I just looked up. What is that lump of a person who has a tuning fork on his head?
That's Krang's head.
Yeah, it's the Krang, he's just not in his suit.
Right.
Oh, I don't know anything about Teenage Mutant
Julianne.
Ninja Turtles. I know.
You do know they're named
know that
after
there's
Renaissance
turtles.
artists.
Yes, of course.
What scoop?
Did you not
I
watch
got
the
that
show as a
far.
kid?
As a little kid, probably not. My cousin was huge. We had Ninja Turtles at his birthday. We chopped the wood. Like we did all the things. That was so
Crane's
cool.
head is getting away, dude.
I'm really glad they
what
kept
channel
the
was it-
classic
was it
looks
on?
for the Turtles
Yeah,
and Splinter, and
that was
especially
great.
April, by the way. I cannot imagine this game with, like, the Megan Fox, April O'Neil look, which is no offense
Oh,
to the
God.
actress, just the aesthetic of those films.
Yeah.
Like, this needs to be a 1990s phenomenon.
What?
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Oh. WB? Really?
Wait, what are we arguing about?
Sorry, we're
Like,
talking
where,
about like
where Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
like,
aired.
and then, like, get out of this like hellhole talking about that. Oh, I wasn't like conscious of the next thing before. I really like I'm so that young.
I don't know that I remember like any what channel anything was on. Like I remember what the channels were on regular TV, but I remember UPN. I watched Star Trek
UPN.
Voyager was on UPN.
I watched UPN. We didn't have cable, so there was only a few.
Right.
I remembered all of them.
But I don't really remember like what went with what. I mean, I remember once WB became a thing that they really like marketed themselves a certain way, so there were like a lot of things on that.
Wait, watch. Hold on, I'm gonna get this pizza. And then we're gonna juggle this person forever. Wait. Yes. Oh my gosh, so much stuff is cancelable.
Yeah, because didn't WB become like the CW?
Essentially, yeah.
And I feel like
Yeah.
the CW era
Well,
had like
UPN,
very
yeah,
specific shows that it were kind of its calling cards. Because like wasn't like Gossip Girl on that, and like okay, I'm thinking about those like teen shows.
Basically,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
20-somethings are playing teenagers and every cast member is
Yeah,
hot, even
exactly.
the people
like
who
One
shouldn't be
Tree
hot,
Hill.
that's the CW.
Yeah, that was like the WB 17. Well, it was 17 for us.
But then like the
The
CW
OG.
took them over, so it was like all those like One Tree Hill type shows.
Yeah,
Gilmore
all the,
Girls
like,
was on there.
teen- I guess, what is it today? Do people watch Vampire Diaries? Is that the thing? I don't know. I don't watch things again. I barely watch Twitch.
The TV DC universe is on the CW, all of which
Okay.
was very good for a long time. Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, Batwoman, and a couple others as well. So, like a whole connected crossover universe.
So I missed cable growing up like you, Julianne.
Yay!
But Joe didn't. Joe and like through his younger sister absorbed like all that like Miley Cyrus-y type stuff.
Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana, yeah, that type of thing. And he was showing me, what was it? The Amanda Bynes show. It had like a running sketch called Moody's Point that was like a send-up of like the OC type dramas. And it's pretty funny. Like he found all the clips on YouTube, and we watched a few of them, and it was like overly melodramatic. And I was like, yeah. And it, had a theme song that kind of sounded like Dawson's Creek. I'm like, yeah, you guys are doing this right.
I consistently forget that Joe is like a generation younger than me.
Well, okay, so like, let's all feel old for a second. That photo I showed you of me at my 4th birthday as April O'Neil, Joe wasn't born yet when that picture was taken.
Right.
Oh my God.
I looked at it, I'm like, 1990? He wasn't born yet. Ah! Cradle robber over here.
I should offer you some.
Yeah, when he really wants to make me feel old, he's like, I was almost 1992, because he was December of 91. Oh, Alex Mack. That's a great TV crush. Oh yeah, I've seen Breaker High. For a hot minute, regular network TV got, what was it, the N? Was that the name of the network? And they like ported over like Canadian stuff like the original Degrassi, and the reboot that Drake was on before he became Drake as we know him. And so there were a bunch of those types of shows. I remember really liking those as like a tween. But yeah, I remember seeing Breaker High. I didn't realize I wouldn't have known who Ryan Gosling is, but totally.
Look at these rats. There's music in this scene. Oh gosh. I like the tuning fork. I'm so confused. That is not how you. Wait, what? The music could come out of other holes.
Is that tweetable? The music is coming out of other holes. Julian Grasso.
Wow, what a stream we're having tonight.
What a stream. What a stream.
Oh, goodness.
And we wonder why Will Gibbons won't come on.
Like, yeah, I'm just not a person. What the hell do you people think?
We give Will a hard time. It became kind of like a running joke that like he was like allergic to Twitch. And then the funniest thing was I got Neil Lerner to agree to be on stream before Will. And like everyone thinks of Neil as being like pretty much off the grid. Like he checks his email like intermittently.
Right.
And like, but Neil, I've always found like you have to, once he sits down and does his email, like he's always very responsive to me. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's not like he gives off like a vibe that he doesn't want to be talked to. He's just like busy doing other things. But yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, when he finally got a cell phone, we were all like, what?
Right. All right, we have 15 minutes, and we have visited this game before on stream. Since we're just kind of goofing around today, I'm going to do one more thing. And I am playing it for charity on Wednesdays. And we just did me, Darth Plagle, who shows up in chat now and then, and Phoenix Down have been playing the Super Nintendo randomizers for the Final Fantasy games. We did 4, then 5, then 6 yesterday. And we're kind of taking a break from it for now, because like we've done the set now, right? But I have started my charity playthrough I do every summer of Final Fantasy V. We did not cover Final Fantasy V on the stream for the Pixel remasters.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to play a little bit of this.
It was not as near and dear to everybody's hearts, except for me, as 4 and 6 were. Musically, if you're only going to talk about 2 soundtracks of this era, you probably should pick 4 and 6, frankly, the canonical choices, if you will. in part because 5 never came to the States.
Cannons.
Cannons.
But we need to have a talk.
Okay, Mom.
And
Oh, I'm scared.
the reason we need to have a talk is because the Pixel Remaster soundtrack for 5 is so excellent. Like, impossibly good. Every track is like Searching for Friends now.
He said that in our group chat, and I was like, the bold words.
All right, so it's huge blow up. Huge blow ups.
It is
All right.
a humongous glow up.
So, is it that you feel that they took more risks? Also, you need to share to us, Ryan.
I am sharing to you guys right now.
Like,
Well,
were they less precious about it because it was 5? Do you think?
So I think they were a little less squeamish about making big swings because a huge percentage of the North American audience just hadn't seen this. It had never come to a home console except for Game Boy Advance, right? And a universally reviled PlayStation port that was very unpopular at the time. Because, like, me and Dana, given 4 hours, could have translated better, frankly, than that official translation. It's wildly bad. My favorite translation in the PlayStation 1 is Wyvern, is Y-burn.
I remember that. Yeah, you told us about that.
Anyway.
Yeah, Ryan and I in our, like, Genki textbooks.
That's right.
Oh, wait, let me show them to the stream in case anybody doesn't know what these are.
Oh, yeah, do you have them right there? That's amazing. Yeah, Takeshi-san and Mary Hart-san.
The classic.
Nice.
But
Yes.
the best part of them is that it stars, there's like a little cartoon character that's like your guide, and she's a foreign exchange student in Japan. Oh, look at my little kanji practice.
Oh, well done, yes.
Like, how cute. Aw. Dana was a Japanese minor. Nah.
Okay, so we're going to take 10 minutes and just listen to a few things. They're all wild.
There's Mary.
Here's
Look how
our
cute
big
she is.
opening theme, and 5, unlike 6, gets a big overture up front rather than a big medley at the end.
I'm real tiny on stream, so nobody will be able to see.
So-
but she's adorable.
This is so good. And this isn't even the best one. I love Julianne's fist pump. The orchestration here is astoundingly excellent, though.
Fighting words up in here.
That oboe line above the top is new and added.
There's your oboe, Andrew. Suck on that.
Suck on that. Don't read.
Because you have to.
Yeah. That sucks. Oh, theme. Oh.
We're less pastoral now. Now it's creepy.
The voices really make an extra creepy element here.
Mm-hmm. Where's Karen? Voices.
Sleeping soundly.
This
Yeah,
string
probably.
effect on real strings works much better than it did on the samples on the Super Nintendo.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Even in notation software, when you put tremolo on something, it is like garbage in playback.
Right.
You have to have a real string do tremolo or it sounds horrid. Are we censoring Eric Whitaker's name? Why are we spelling it Y-Taker? Okay.
I don't get the joke. I'll be honest.
Did I? Oh,
Oh,
bad.
right.
Oh, okay. Like
Got
the Wyvern. Okay, I get it. Thank you. I stayed up until like 5 a.m. last night, so I'm like not all here.
I'm all here, but I'm not a lot. So
Anyway, this overture, like, what a way to start this off.
Mhm.
lovely. It's no stack of fourths, but nice.
Somebody has read Rimsky-Korsakov's orchestration treatise, is all I'm saying. It's so good. But my favorite one is probably this one so far. Just how varied of genre it is.
Oh wow.
Oh my
Here you
gosh,
go.
it's so Celtic.
It leans
Right.
in so bad. Good.
This also would be like Harvest Moon / Stardew Valley, like autumn festival music. Can't you just see this? You're like putting your pumpkin in like the stew.
Absolutely.
Right. We get a whole second verse now. And I love the fiddle here.
Love the fiddle. Yeah. I'm okay with fiddle. It's only Lindsey Sterling.
This is
This
not a
is
Lindsey
great.
Sterling style playing, though. This is
Exactly.
excellent.
This is fun. Yeah, this
Wait
is
for it,
very,
wait.
like, cabin dance.
Wait, the ending here is just outrageously good. And there's your loop finally.
Touched it.
But I love that yelp in the vocals.
Yahoo!
It's good.
That was fun.
Where's
Oh.
the next one?
If it's Final Fantasy V, I think you know which one I'm going to ask for.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Because we have to build it here. This North Mountain is really the first dungeon, right? And you can already tell they're willing to introduce the electric guitar early, right? And that, like, Emerson Lake Palmer organ.
I was going to say, Emerson Lake and Palmer, Oregon. We needed more of that.
We're
throughout
no
the
longer
Pixel
nodding
remasters.
nodding towards prog rock. Like, this is a prog rock thing now.
We had a couple moments in the other ones where we unleashed more prog.
Whatever that is.
There were some nice proggy moments.
There are. Here's your dragon riding theme.
Where's Sean Atkinson on this stream?
Right? Where are Robbie DeGay and John Robert Matz on our Game Brass friends?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Right?
Our award-winning friends in the Game Brass.
That's right. They won for Legend of Zelda. If you've not heard that album, quit listening to us and go do that now.
Go listen to good,
Like me.
good things. Wait, did JRM's Ambitions win stuff? I forgot to check.
It was nominated and did not win.
Oh, that's
Can
too
you please
bad.
play
It was
Light
so
Up?
good.
How that sounds like the stupidest track in this game.
Yeah,
Wait,
we can do it.
Who won out over Ambition?
I don't remember.
It's Julianne's favorite track.
It still sounds like Pepto Bismol. It's not easy to put it. A little smoother though. A little bit less gastrointestinal. Which is unfortunate. Oh, there it is. Ew.
This is a much softer touch than they took with Techno de Chocobo, though. Let's be real.
I'm not going to play it now, but Musica Machina has a 40-second addition to the end that sounds like a 21st century aleatoric piece, and it's tremendous.
That's nice.
In the
That's
back,
cool.
it's that piece while I look for other stuff.
Intriguing.
But this one sounds really good on early Music Box.
Yeah.
It's always been adorable.
Early music.
Home Sweet Home got a big glow up.
I loved this track when we played this.
This is a good
This
one.
is one of my favorites from the whole game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's even better now.
Oh.
Day by day, from land to land, I roam. I'm singing the Pray CD version of it.
I love that CD. I could sing all those lyrics right now.
Yay, okay, I'm glad you know it. Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
pretty strings here.
The whole game got this type of glow up though. But yeah, Pat, here it is.
Oh.
I mean, this was already good, like a good track, so.
Hello, prog rock.
Ooh. Okay, that was necessary and good.
Right, the newly added guitar wail is like sexy.
That keyboard player's just going ham.
Yeah.
Also Game Brass. Hello.
This is what they should have done to the combat themes in Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah. Yeah. Friggin' yeah.
Because they were like halfway with it in 4, and we were like, well, it could have been really good, but like, here
they didn't
it's
quite
really good.
Battle at the Taco Bell.
Nice.
And then loop.
That's good, I like it. I like that.
Alright, Pat wanted this one as well, because he's smart and good.
Good.
Oh, no, he wanted World 3. My bad. This is World 2.
I'm gonna load this up just to listen to all these tracks. I have it.
It's
I have
also
to be able to
good.
play it.
I don't have any of the remasters.
This one,
I should get
yes.
them.
Ooh.
The whole game's soundtrack is stupendously excellent, glow up wise. Pat.
Okay, which FF5 world theme is my favorite? I was gonna say, what if it's Bluefields from Final Fantasy VIII? What does that say about me? That's my favorite world music.
That means you were goth in high school.
Fair and true.
Boom, 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 ka.
I just couldn't believe when I loaded this up how good and improved. Like, it's like they knew they could with this one, and they were really hesitant with a little bit with 4 and especially with 6. I feel like they did not make
It was like it was.
this level of change only occurred in like 3 tracks: The Day After, Mount Colts, and in Searching for Friends.
Julianne, remind me, since you mentioned fluoxetine in the chat. Have you done Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
I watched one episode.
Oh my gosh,
And I liked
and
it,
this isn't
but-
like a huge spoiler because I won't give away content because I know Ryan's working through it right now with Addie,
are.
but there is a track in season 4 which is it's her therapist and her singing about like how being on antidepressants isn't a big deal, and like they're like singing like fluoxetine. It's like so catchy.
It does roll off the tongue.
And now
And now it's
anytime
merch.
anybody mentions any of those, that's like what I think of. It's
Nice.
such a good track.
Ooh, the rearticulation of the 4th note right here. Brah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And this is the other one that has to be really, really good. And it is. Just could not believe that they took this level of risk with FF5 when they were so conservative with 6.
Black Chocobo, hello. So pretty.
And it makes me wonder, like, what could have been. Right?
We saw a little bit of what could have been when we pulled up OC remixes that were better than some of the tracks.
It's true.
Like, the Shadow, I would have liked the Shadow if you hadn't ruined it for me by playing Josisha with that whistle.
I don't know if you've met Joe in person, but, like,
No.
he is so wildly talented at everything that it just starts to feel unfair after a while. He's amazing, though.
That's how I feel about Will Roger. When I met him, I was just like, how
Same
are you all
vibes,
in one person?
yes.
How are you all in one person?
And really quickly, since we're all looking at this quickly, though I do realize...
You didn't play my track, Ryan. Play my
Oh,
track.
what do you want?
Friggin' the pyramid theme.
No.
Oh,
Duh.
Duh.
What is it? Something Ancient Earth, whatever.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is like mystical, and then we get into like heavy Egypt, right? As I argue in my chapter about this.
That's the- Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The channel separation and stereo field separation help this track a lot relative to
Yeah.
Super Nintendo.
Gives it more like space,
Yep.
physical space.
Because I don't think the actual notation has changed that much. And
No,
I don't
not at all.
think the instrumentation has been changed, except that obviously modern instruments are clearer if you're attempting to do something resembling it on a Super Nintendo. But the field separation really, like, you can hear the lower part from the top part now.
Well, and the articulation, this was something we talked about a lot in 6, like wishing things had been a little bit punchier.
Yeah.
I loved that cello moment where it was so accented and articulate versus this sweeping part, which is very like, hello, Lawrence of Arabia. Like,
Right.
you know, as legato as possible. Yeah, let's let it loop one more just to hear that cello moment.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway,
Let me fly over
That's
to
fine.
a place very quickly. We'll load my all nights file. I'm behind Darth Plagueis like 2.5 crystals. But I have Knight, and she has only Geomancers, so I'm going to catch up.
Oh, you guys are doing like the racy thing?
We're not racing, we're just doing our Fiesta playthroughs.
You're just all
and
doing
she
the
rolled
randomizers.
a harder one, and is doing a harder version of it than I am. But the new water shaders, of course, still look tremendously excellent, right?
Yeah, they're so pretty.
Water got the big blow up.
Water did get
Water
a big
did get the
blow
big
up.
glow up. But look at... Hold on, after this dumb fight.
Straight
That-
cat.
That string run, also, big glow up.
Okay.
Look at the wind shrine
H2O
visually
MG.
now.
Always like look too hard.
There's a lot more texture in the visuals here, and that's true for the whole game. Like, they just did a lot with this. And yes, this
Is this
track is a
faster?
little bit faster.
Is
It
it
is.
faster? I thought it was pretty fast. Like I remember it being like steaming.
It's funny too, though, when we did a lot of the tracks in 6, we kept thinking we're in different tempos, and then we would play the original, and they were actually pretty close.
Pretty close.
But it just goes to show you, like, your perception of tempo is not just like an objective fact. It's influenced by like articulation and instrumentation and timbre.
Yeah.
Like a more articulate, versus a more legato version of the exact same tempo can sound very different to someone. Grass lighting.
Grass lighting.
That's funny.
Excellent.
Oh, hello.
Right?
It's like us when we sing along to stuff.
All right. And then our big main theme is relatively unchanged, except it gets the clarinet, so Julianne's happy.
Yes. Okay, this is my new favorite focus.
This is my new favorite track. Love it.
I should probably pick that.
Yeah, this is absolutely the version of FF5 to play now.
She even takes a breath.
That's going to be probably Wednesdays for me for a couple weeks, is finishing this Fiesta run.
It's fun.
I'm going to donate, they're raising money for Planned Parenthood this summer.
Oh, fun.
And I'm going to donate $5 for every time I die. Report to come.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out. You're decently good at these games, but I guess the randomizer is part of what makes that spicy, right? Because, like, you're not playing with, like, your ultimate party.
So, the Fiesta rules are that you don't get to pick your own jobs, right? There's a Twitter bot that will pick for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Knight, which is probably the third best job to get at the Wind Crystal. And the standard way to play the Fiesta is you get one job from each crystal, and you have to stick it out. I have instead signed up this year to give me one job from any of the available crystals that I have. So I could get a wind job or a water job next time, and then I could get any job except for Earth, and then I could get anything, who knows. It takes away the better Earth jobs and makes the game slightly harder. There is a chance, of course, that I just get a really, really good early job instead. So I have more chances to roll Blue Mage, which is a free victory for the entire game, and a couple more chances to roll Mystic Knight, which is also like, I win, especially now that I already have Knight on top of it. But you have to know the game intimately well to pull it off with like a subpar group. If you get Thief, you have some research to do, right?
Yeah.
Knight is reasonable, but if I would have gotten like White Mage or Black Mage is very easy for the whole game. You just nuke things to death and you win. White mage gets hard because you can't kill anything.
Oh, yeah.
There's only one equipable weapon for 4 people
Yeah.
for the first 2/3 of the
White
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't have white mage, which also means I don't have healing. So we'll see how I deal with that.
That'll be
Potions.
fun. Yeah. Love a good fundraiser, and I love.
Yeah, again,
me
I
some
will
Planned
update every
Parenthood.
couple
They
Thursdays.
just
I will
do
complain where I'm at, and I'm sure we will invite Darth Plagueis to
Wonderful
do the
women's
same because
health.
I see her playing right now. So maybe she is attempting. She is stuck with only Geomancers on a boss that is immune to the Geomancer skill. So I don't know
Oh.
what she's going to do.
Jesus.
It also causes old and does percentage-based health damage. Like, you only have so long to finish this thing before you will die. So,
That's fun.
like, it's vulnerable to lightning. In a base game, you just have any one of your 17 ways to do lightning damage and win for free. It's the Soul Cannon, Patrick. And I don't know what she's going to do, except to grind up to a very high level and stab it to death with tiny not mages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Gosh,
Man.
that's so fascinating. Yeah,
Yeah.
love a good fundraiser. For a lot, I don't know. It's just like an our generation thing. Like, how many of y'all have like primary care physicians? Like, Planned Parenthood was like where I went for like just everything. Like,
Yeah.
such good like just like women's health check, because like honestly that's most of what like a woman in her 20s needs is like your gyno checkups or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're just so wonderful because they give you, if you're like a broke student, everything's like sliding scale, and it like the people that work there have always been lovely. So yeah, and it's only been like recently getting like legitimate health insurance that I've been able to like get more doctors
Yeah.
in my life, and most of them have been for my kid, not for me. So
Yeah,
About-
for sure.
all about donating money, because so often that organization gets scapegoated for one specific thing, and they do like all of the things. They are just such wonderful providers of healthcare.
In
Yeah.
any
Nice
case,
to-
next week
nice
we
to
are going to
protect
do
their
Shadowgate
funding.
for Julianne.
Yay! Finally.
And to be clear, you do want the older NES edition of Shadowgate.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay, none of that modern crap that got released.
Do Shadowgate 64. That was a fun one. And
Oh
then
my
and then
gosh.
the remake. But no, we'll do the NES. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
excited. Yeah, because we've done adjacent games, but never Shadowgate. And
That's
is
right.
Shadowgate one of the Julianne ones on the list?
It is
Yep.
a Julianne game on the list, yes.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness. That's exciting. I'm glad. Are we ever going to play Homescapes though? Because I know that's been on Julianne's list.
I love looking at the list. Hold on.
Only because that one cracks me up every time because there's a link
To the subreddit. That's
to the subreddit. It brings me joy,
How are there-
honestly. And we've done a decent job, like actually putting down what we're playing.
Yeah. I actually really want to do Yoshi's Story sometime soon as well. That's the Nintendo 64 one, right?
That's one of my things I listed too. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at your list now. Do you want to play that, or do you want me to play it and you do color commentary over it?
Either or. I'm not very good at it, which is funny because it's supposed to be an easy game. So I could do both, but I don't know. My system might be all weird with them moving. So whenever we do that, we'll see.
Wait, we
Okay.
haven't done Lumino City yet? I have that on Steam. Let's do that soon because I friggin' love that game.
Okay.
Let's do that in like a couple
alright.
weeks.
The other
Do
one
it.
I want to get to sooner rather than later is neither of you nor Karen have seen The Forgotten City yet. Is that correct?
Sure, you've talked about that one.
Correct.
All right. I just want you to see it, and I want to say absolutely nothing more about it until it is in front of you.
Okay.
Except that it is tremendous. It won like not A4 Games, but a writing award back when it was a mod for Skyrim, like a national writing award. It was so excellent, and they took that and refined it into its own game. that is stellar. But you all will get to point me and make all the decisions because I know the answer to the thing now. So it's one of those games where it's like you can only really play this thing one time game.
And as always, chat if you have games that you really want to see played. You can tell us to play them, or some of our Ludo friends, and even those that aren't in the field, if you want to play with us.
Yep.
You can be a guest. You can appear in front of the camera and talk about stuff. So I know folks are working on research, and you could give little snippety previews of the things you're going to publish. Be like, hey, I just wrote a chapter on this game and it's going to come out. That would be a neat thing to do.
That's right. Or you have an idea for a proposal, but you need something kicked around. Or you want to talk about something,
sit
but
listen to it a little
you
bit.
Can't finish Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 and you want to have an excuse for me to play that in front of an audience, specifically that title.
Yeah, I like having my favorite part of the Pixel remaster gala celebration of our streaming for 5 years was having all of those brilliant people on, and not saying we need to do that every week because that's a lot of scheduling and more logistics.
Yeah,
but
it was really nice to have lots of our smart friends come and be awesome on stream.
I mean, I go back and I've watched when Mezzo was on talking about the opera. I've watched that sequence again, and Matthew Valente and Andrew Versa, and who else did we have? We had so many good people. Warren Flute, right?
Yeah, and we had Scott Pennick on as well.
Scott Pennick.
Wow,
every single guest we had on was so good.
Yeah, everybody knew their stuff for FF6. I don't think we're going to get that again in the near term. We have to do planning, and we have to play the big games to get the big people to come.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
I see that both Dana and Julianne have listed Lumino City though on their
I own that on Steam, and I adore it. And when we went to the one year that Ryan and I with Will and Steve went out to GDC, the developers had their original paper sets that they used, because I don't know if y'all know that game. It's actually filmed and then they animated the filmed assets. But all the lighting and stuff, it's all paper sets that were crafted, were made. So it's got this beautiful physicality, in the texture. And it's an adorable puzzle game. The music is great. So I think that would be a fun one, and I have it here. I think it's even downloaded to my machine already, so I wouldn't even have to do anything.
It sounds familiar to me from.
I think you'd know it as soon as I open it up. Yeah,
I want to say it crossed my desk for Indiecade last year, but I can't confirm that without going and checking some notes I don't have up right now.
Yeah, it's on my machine, so I can
boot
it up, and I'm trying to think how long it actually takes. It's not super long. But we could probably get through most of it in a stream, if not all of it.
Let's do Shadowgate next week, and then Lumino City, and then maybe Forgotten City, and then we'll be into July.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That'll be fun.
Speaking of which, Julianne, when do you move?
It's kind of a weird process, but sort of the 3 weeks of the last week of June into the first 2 weeks of July are just chaotic. So I may be around, I may not. We'll see.
Okay. Well, if it's one of the weeks through, we can save Lumino City because that was on both of our lists.
I don't think I've heard of this game, so it wasn't, or maybe I have, and I didn't.
Unless I typed it in the wrong spot, because it is. It's under yours, and then I wrote a comment saying yes because it was also on my list. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow it ended up.
Okay, I get it. This looks like a game I would like.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll make.
I love that you don't remember it at all when it's on your I want list.
I'm like, wow, I really want the. Yeah, okay, we'll do it.
Yeah.
It's possible it was meant to go under mine and it just got mistyped by one of us.
Who knows?
But obviously, in 2021 in January, I was like, yes. So. Clearly, I was like thinking you had it on your list too. But yeah, we can do some fun stuff. I think speaking of having Will on my stream tomorrow, Ayers, not Gibbons.
Right.
Although his day is coming. I think we should have Will on with us at some point to do stacking. That was his first Nakvogum paper. It uses Chopin. It's such an adorable game too. You play as Russian nesting dolls, and when you like hop into the next one, they like give you different abilities. So it's got like that Mario Odyssey feel to it, where like you have to like puzzle solve with like what the different characters do for your abilities.
Yeah.
It's so cute, and that's another one I have.
It occurs to me, I suspect that neither Julianne nor Dana have seen this yet, and it was released today. The new trailer. We have to watch this to close the stream, mostly because I want your guys' reactions.
I have to start up Discord again. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like in bed.
Julianne was laying in bed somehow.
I think we are.
All right, I'm in.
Oh yeah, the 7.
Because this is a thing we're going to be covering on stream, I'm sure. Because we spent a lot of time, like, professionally making room for it.
Oh, 7 part 2.
That's right.
Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, it would help if I unmuted the tab, though. Hold on.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
FF Veg.
All right, here we go.
What we've done, that's set in stone. The past is forever. But the future, even if it has been written, can be changed.
Again,
So focus on
she's
the future,
self-aware.
not the past.
He wants to finish what he started. He wants to reclaim his birthright and rule over the planet with Genova at his side. I saw you lying there. I figured it was too late.
Wait, what are you implying? That I died? That I'm some kind of imposter?
You were here with me 5 years ago. Where are you? What happened to you?
I'm trying so hard to find you.
Sorry. Feel like I failed you.
sorry. Sorry. Rebirth. Okay.
Okay. I don't know, like
What's next?
if I were a YouTube streamer, you know, and I was like reacting to this, I would be like, "Oh my god, it's Sephiroth!" Right? But like, I don't know. All right.
You have to have a thumbnail that's like.
So this winter, as in 5 months from now, we get the remake of Crisis Core for PS5,
Oh yeah.
and then
Oh my
winter
God.
23
Does it right there?
we
the remake.
get FF7 Rebirth, which is FF7 Part 2 of what has now been announced as a trilogy.
Oh, okay.
The
So
second.
they're not going to make 7 sevens. I was worried. Like, we're going to have 7 of these. We're going to be spending the rest of our adult lives playing these games.
What's
Although that might
fascinating
still
to
be
me
true.
is how much they're leaning into the idea that we know stuff is wrong.
Well, who friggin' called it? Not that I originated the idea, because I had seen other reviewers basically saying the same thing. But like, I had like an uncanny like thing with Aerith the whole time. Again, as I put in the chat, she gives me like Monica from Doki Doki Literature Club vibes. Like,
Yeah.
she knows she's in a game or some like, you know, something.
Yeah.
She's like in the wrong timeline, or like they're gonna pull some crap like that.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about that, like, I'm not opposed to that if that's where they take it, because it opens them up to not have to follow. Like, this is where they can make new stuff happen, right? Is if
Right.
they allow us to have a different situation, and then if they decide to make it so that like she still has an inescapable death, but they do it different, it'll hit so much harder, you know? Because if it happens right at the moment it did in the original game, all the people that played that game would just be like, you know, oh, I remember the gut punch of this the first time I played it. But if they do it now where you think you have hope, and then they pull out the rug from under you like at a much later point, like, imagine They would just have everybody crying all over again. I think that could be really powerful.
I called, when we played this on stream last year, the original FF7 remake, I called that they would make the player murder Aerith. That there would be some realization of, like, stuff is wrong, Monica style, for lack of a better shorthand, and that Cloud would have to murder her instead of Sephiroth. That remains my theory after seeing this.
Oh, yeah, that'd be really gut-wrenching.
And it'll happen where it needs to happen in the plot, like down in the basement of the ancient city. And I think that you, the player, will murder Aerith now. And that's going to be the big twist.
And then what? We spend the rest of the game trying to redeem him from that act or something. Yeah.
Ourselves.
No, we spend the rest of the game going after Sephiroth for causing the conditions that led to this in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We can't kill Barrett instead. No. He's got a daughter that he's got to raise, and we are not leaving her without a father because he's such a good dad.
Agreed. Yeah.
You can't kill Barrett.
There are also very, very few truly redeemable people in these games. Like, most of the people are dicks, right?
Yeah.
Cloud's a dick. Barrett is like a good human. Therefore, he must survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just from a representation standpoint, isn't it a little bit of a horror movie trope to kill the one
black guy?
Prominent black character? Like, this is not like a cheesy 80s horror movie, come on, where we have to kill like everybody but the white virginal protagonist or whoever. So we there are so many reasons we can't, and Barrett's so good in the new ones.
He is.
It's a violent terrorist who mass murders the citizens of Midgar.
They kind of
calls them out on it.
Soften that significantly by having Shinra be responsible for like the acceleration of the bombs in the new one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he talks. Do you want pizza because of the pizza, the rotten pizza, or whatever? Are we still on that? Or are you still thinking of Ninja Turtles?
Everything makes me think of her, and her is pizza.
Julian's one true love, everybody. Pizza.
Under the 4 cheese pizza.
Truly a child of New Jersey.
Truly. I'm so tired and hungry.
But yeah, there are a lot of characters I could, like, if they killed them off, it would be maybe surprising or whatever, but like, I can't imagine. I could see them like doing an arc where they kill Tifa. I wouldn't like it, but that would be quite a twist. But yeah, I feel like Barrett's like untouchable. Like, I would.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would do that in a way where it would kind of work. It would just be like devastating without. They'd have to really find a way to earn it, I guess, and narratively.
We did not, by the way, see or stream the Yuffie DLC, in part because when we did this, I was playing it on a PS4, and I didn't have the PS5 edition of the game yet. I think that Vincent will never become a part of the main core party. He will get his own side story in the same way that Yuffie did in the DLC. I think he is too difficult to integrate into the new narrative that they've got. And it makes a lot more sense for him to just be a loner and kind of repeat the Dirge of Cerberus material. Rather than put him into the main group. I think we're going to stick primarily with Cloud, Barrett, Tifa, and Aerith as our core playable characters. And everybody else will be guest appearances only.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Sid,
also,
the bad, abusive husband, will not become playable.
Yeah, probably not. Also, I will say I really enjoy that you can go to the Golden Saucer with Barrett as your date, and it's adorable. I don't know if that's still going to be like a side quest in whatever version that comes in.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll still have the Golden Saucer be a date destination.
Bless you.
Or if these games are too serious for such things.
I kind of hope they're not, right? You need a little bit of levity here and there.
You need a little hip hop to chocobo up.
That's right. Yeah. Speaking of which, I really like what they've done with the gold saucer in Final Fantasy XIV, which is where I'm probably headed to go claim my lottery tickets for the night before midnight rolls around.
You better play that cactpot.
That's right. I need
Cactpot,
all my...
like cactuar.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's adorable.
So cute and fun.
Yeah, I need my points to unlock all those mounts and emojis and stuff.
Yes.
Oh man, it sounds like a very playable game, at least up to level 60.
The
Winning.
it's
Critically acclaimed.
Critically acclaimed, even. Yeah, I hear that it's free to play. People keep saying that it's free to play.
Oops, I've messed up Karen's name this whole time and none of you told me.
What? I don't look at the stream. Was it?
I look at the chat.
There we go.
Yeah,
I've fixed it
What
now,
did
but
it say?
the
it has,
bulletin
like, a
board
tag
code to
on
make
it.
her color orange was gone.
Wait, I've never noticed we have different colors. So you're like teal. I'm red. Why am I red?
To contrast with the teal,
your lip
honestly, I just
color.
arbitrarily assigned it.
Uh-huh. So there's no... Julian's yellow.
There is no intention or personality, like, determinism governing this.
Not that you consciously thought of, but obviously you think I am urine. No, I like you. I like yellow. It's sunny. All right, we need the stream to end.
Yeah, we need to go. We're all starting to get loopy.
10:32. What are we
Get
doing?
this woman a pizza.
That's right. Go get some pizza.
Teenage
Leave us
Mutant
alone
Ninja
and get out of here.
Turtles.
We'll be back
Style.
next week for Shadowgate, which is going to be hilarious because I've never actually finished this thing. So we'll see how well Julian can direct me next week.
Oh yeah.
Come hang out with me tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, go see Will Ayers talk about Echo the Dolphin. It's amazing.
Echo the Dolphin. Also the Atari Dolphin game. Also the game Perception, if anyone knows that.
Nice.
So, good stuff.
Excellent.
All right.
I'm excited.
Cheers, team.
All right.
Party on.
Oh yeah, that just rolled out.